their case update. So, as we all know, that the P. Diddy trial ended its arguments on Friday with the prosecution and the defense giving their closing arguments. Defense basically said prosecution was over exaggerating Diddy's swinger lifestyle, and this is why they were there. And prosecution came back on the defense saying, yeah, stop victim blaming. So as of this morning, the jury's been given their instructions as to how to deliberate, and it is now in the hands of the jury. So it would be interesting to see if we get something today. Um, you know, it would be interesting, but I don't know if we'll get anything today. I mean, this could take as long as it takes. The jury doesn't have a set time to have a decision made. They take as long as they need. They have their notes, they have their little packets, and they have questions they can ask. They can ask the judge for clarification on charges. So that is where we're at. So the jury now has it in their hands. All weekend I've been watching people's takes, other lawyers' takes on this, and it's been 50-50. 50% of them thinking that the prosecution didn't prove their case of racketeering. Other 50 say, yep, he's going to jail forever. One thing I did find interesting, quite a few of them said that they didn't think the prosecution proved their case, was basically giving the attitude of he's guilty of something. So, which I think everybody kind of believes that as a whole. I don't think anyone believes that Diddy is innocent completely. I mean, if anything, we know for a fact, based on the video evidence that made it, on CNN's rounds, that he's guilty of domestic violence. That's clear cut, but he's not being charged with domestic violence. This is not a domestic violence case. This is a racketeering case. This is a sex trafficking case. And I think what might hurt them is the fact that they didn't bring in any co-conspirators, charge as well, like Christina Quorum. Her name was brought up multiple times throughout this trial. Well, who told you this? Christina KK. It was just Christina Quorum. Oh, she paid the people. She made the arrangements. She's the one who told me to take this pill, that kind of stuff. So why she has not been charged, if not brought in to testify at least on what she witnessed, is beyond me. Because I thought there'd be a lot more people testifying, more people involved in the scheme, but they didn't do that. So I don't know. I like to think that they at least prove some of the lesser charges, like the kidnapping and the forced sex, all the, a lot of the forced charges. I think if he goes away at all, he's going to get at least 10 years on one of those charges. He's going to get that. Will he go away for life? I don't know. But I like to think that he is going to go away and do some time. And what was interesting, there was another lawyer talking this weekend, a guy named Dennis Sperling. He has his own little Manaverse webpage, but he is an actual practicing lawyer, trial lawyer. And he did not think the prosecution made their case for racketeering, but he did say, he's a jury, no matter how unbiased they're supposed to be, no matter how, they're supposed to be non-prejudicial, everyone has bias. Everybody has some type of attitude coming into this trial and what they think. Hello. So I don't know if that's going to play a role. And just the fact that, people keep saying he is guilty of something. How is that not going to play a role in the deliberations? Because I'll be honest, if I was chosen for this jury, there's no way on earth I could, I could ignore the fact of the things that we already know to be true about him. Thank you. But that's a good question. Can you be unbiased enough to make a informed decision on the rest of someone's life? Guilty, innocence, could you give him life in prison, or could, what do you think? Do you think his celebrity is so much that you can even ignore that? That's the question at hand. Can you do that? But this is what 12 people have to figure out. And the other thing is, all 12 of these people have to agree on one verdict, because it can't be well, 8 of them said yes and 4 said no, and he'll still get convicted. All 12 have to agree on a conviction. So if they don't agree on the conviction, let's just say it gets to be a hung jury, are the prosecutors going to go after him again and retry him again? That's another question. So, you know, I don't know, but we'll wait and see. Like I said, I'll be keeping an eye out for the updates, but I would be surprised if we got an answer today. I think if anything, we might get one tomorrow. But we'll see. Like I said, if they make a quick turnaround, that means they already had their minds made up before they got in that jury room. But we'll see. And then just let me know here in the chat if you guys think he's innocent or guilty. And if you think he's guilty, what do you think he's guilty of? That's the question. What is he actually truly guilty of? I think he's guilty of all of it. I just don't think they brought in enough people to prove that on the prosecution side to really, they should have charged more than just him. That's what I'm saying. So, but I'm going to hop off here. This is Rebecca with Red True Crime with a brief update. You all have a great day. And once I hear a verdict, I'll be back on. Bye.